You walk into a room, people are laughing, drinks are clinking, conversations overlapping. And there's that one person in the corner, maybe it's you, maybe someone you know, who isn't making a sound, but somehow seems to know exactly what's going on. Who's talking to whom? Who's dominating the conversation? Who's faking interest? Who's waiting for the perfect opening? They don't raise their hand. They don't crack a joke. Yet the room has been mapped, cataloged, analyzed, and filed away in their mind. Welcome to the world of the unseen observer. If you've ever been this person, or have spent time around them, you know it's a quiet kind of power. It's not about attention or charisma. It's about noticing what most people overlook, the pauses between words, the micro-expressions, the shifting alliances of conversation. Today, we're diving into the psychology of INTJs, or anyone who embodies this subtle, strategic observation, and why they seem to map social dynamics without saying a single word. Let's start with the classic INTJ scenario. Imagine someone arriving at a cocktail party. Everyone else is scanning for snacks or who to talk to first. But the INTJ, they stand back, maybe near a window, maybe pretending to check their phone. In reality, they're scanning. Every handshake, every laugh, every glance is data. Who's influential? Who's insecure? Who's pretending they're confident? It all gets registered. It's not paranoia, it's pattern recognition. INTJs have a kind of social radar honed over years of observing human behavior. They're not trying to control the room. They're quietly mapping it, like a strategist planning a battlefield they'll never fully enter. Then there's the silent analyst in a smaller social setting. Think a work meeting or a group project. They don't interrupt, don't volunteer ideas first, maybe even seem disengaged. But inside, there's a whirlwind of processing. They're noticing who's nervous, who's posturing, who will cave under pressure. And when they finally do speak, it lands with precision. That comment that seems offhand? It's not offhand. It's a calculated high-leverage move. Psychologically, this comes from a mix of high introverted intuition and careful deductive thinking. They don't need to talk constantly because every observation counts and every word has weight. But here's the twist. Not all unseen observers are INTJs, or even conscious of their behavior. Some people are naturally social scanners because they're sensitive to cues others miss. Picture the person at a family gathering who drifts quietly between conversations, smiling here, nodding there, occasionally chiming in with a perfectly timed insight. They might even seem shy, timid, or aloof. But in truth, their inner world is hyperactive. Their brains are running simulations of every interaction. What will happen if I say this? How will this affect the group dynamic? This is the psychology of subtle social intelligence, the ability to track complex social webs without overtly participating. Then there's the observer who leans into contrast. They don't just notice, they exploit the invisibility granted by quietness. Imagine someone at a networking event, deliberately staying on the edge, listening while everyone else tries to impress. When they finally choose to engage, it's almost disruptive in its insight. People lean in, drawn to the clarity of their thought. Why? Humans are wired to pay attention to signals that break the pattern. A quiet, measured voice in a sea of noise feels like gravity, unexpected but undeniable. Psychologically, these people are using absence as a tool. Invisibility itself becomes influence. And finally, there's the reflective observer, the one who treats the social room almost like a personal study. This person might be introverted, socially awkward, or simply contemplative. They notice patterns not to manipulate or strategize, but to understand. They catalog behaviors, remember past interactions, and connect dots others haven't even considered. It's a kind of quiet empathy, an ability to recognize not just what people do, but why. Here, the psychology is less about control and more about internal coherence, mapping the social world to make sense of it for themselves, which in turn makes them appear uncanny to others. So, what do all these types have in common? They share a kind of cognitive patience. They resist the impulse to talk just for the sake of talking. They value observation over reaction, and they understand, often implicitly, that silence can be more informative than speech. They see the currents beneath the surface, the hidden undercurrents of human behavior that most people miss. Maybe you recognize yourself in one of these profiles. Maybe you've been the quiet person in a room, cataloging every laugh and sigh. Or maybe you know someone like this, and only now, with a little reflection, you realize the depth of what they're doing when they appear to do nothing at all.